What's up, Beaks?
What up?
We got a special guest here today. You guys all know her as Callie. I call her Meeks the Beaks. You fished your very first open water tournament yesterday.
Yes.
Did you catch some bass?
Yes.
Did you help us do well? Did you have fun?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we had a good time. We caught a bunch of fish yesterday. Didn't win the tournament, but boy, did we catch a lot.
We caught lots.
That was super, super fun. We're going to talk about what worked this week. We're going to talk about the conditions, all that good stuff. You guys and gals know the drill. So another beautiful week on the water. We are now into August, which is hard to believe. This is the last month of summer break. And then I think on September 2nd-ish, you go back to school. You excited for that?
No.
So summer is, I don't want to say winding down. We still have plenty of summer left. We still have a month until Labor Day. So a lot of good fishing ahead of us. Water temps are still in the 80s. We had some cool mornings this week. It felt pretty good. Some of you saw me joke around about I had the vest on a few days in a row. It was pretty nice to wake up in the morning with sweats, a hoodie, and a vest. But don't kid yourself, by the afternoon we were back in sun shirts and shorts. It's that time of year. Things are getting kind of all over the place, but it's still pretty warm. Water temps this week mostly we're hitting into the early 80s. We had some days this week where it hit 84, 85 degree surface temp. Is that warm water?
Yeah.
Would you just dive in?
Yes.
Sure, why not? So warm enough water to swim in. As everyone knows, lake life is booming. We didn't get much rain this last week. Some passing stuff here or there late in the evening. But for the most part, we stayed pretty dry during the day. And we felt it. It was warm. You had to stay hydrated. You had to drink a lot of water. That kind of stuff. We ran through the sprinklers.
Yes.
That was fun. I dumped water on your head. That was really fun for me. So it's that time of year where you can just get out and enjoy outside activities. So, but again, hydrate, sun shirts, sunscreen, stay comfortable, protect yourself. It can catch up on you real fast. I had a lot of guys and gals this week chat about a number of things. I heard some stories about heat stroke, heat exhaustion. Don't let that hit you. There's no reason for it to happen. Just a little bit of common sense ahead of time to avoid it from happening, and you'll be just fine in the water. So, what worked this week? What didn't work? Maybe you should give them a quick sentence on what you used yesterday to catch fish. Remember what you used to catch a fish yesterday?
I think so.
What was it?
I don't really remember what it's called.
Just a Ned rig?
A Ned rig.
A Ned
and
rig?
it was green and black or brown. And I caught a bunch of bass on it. And I caught some nice colored bass and some small bass.
So you had a little chartreuse jig head, little net head, the little heads from Z-Man, and then you had a little net ringer from Mr. Twister or a BLT or TRD, something of a dark profile in the back, and that's what we've used on Minnetonka, but that's what you used yesterday on a spinning rod to catch your bass. So productive pattern here in the Twin Cities, and that caught Callie a whole bunch of fishies, so we had a lot of blast yesterday. So this week in the Metro, I've pretty much lived on Lake Minnetonka, but some of the stuff is consistent in the surrounding area. We talked about fishing Ned rigs. We talked about fishing jig worms. Once again, this is a full profile body jig worm, right? And people have asked me about that. Now, jig worms can be lengthy twister tails, right? Mr. Twister makes a phenom worm. They make an 8-inch buzzworm. All that stuff works. But this past week, like we talked about a little bit last weekend, was this full profiled jig worm. This is a mighty head with a full cometa. Longer shank jig worm head with a Senko is probably the easiest way to put it. So if we're not fishing the Ned rig, we're fishing this. And this kind of gets down there quick, gives a bigger profile, gets more of a reaction strike. It's not falling as slow. This application has nothing to it that floats. It actually is a sinking plastic. You rig this wacky rigged, you've done that. Where the BLT, the TRD, some of the Yamamoto stuff and other brands out there have a floating plastic, so the plastic stands up. This, I am shooting down there, it's hitting the bottom, I'm snapping it up. I'm getting fish usually to react to it on the fall. If I notice on my sonar, my forward-facing sonar, that fish are higher in the water column, kind of roaming through the weed stalks, I found this to be pretty effective. If I notice that they're on the bottom more, either this or a Ned rig, both will work. Sometimes we overthink it, but this full profile worked well. One thing we did as the day went on, once again, sticking with the non-floating application, if we noticed that some of these fish didn't really want to hit it as hard or we were short striking them, watch this. Ready? I would take this off, and right where that hook entered down here, I'm gonna rip it off. You want that? Sure. And then I'm actually gonna take it and I'm gonna put it back on. And that's one way not only to get more use out of your plastics, but to change the profile and the appearance. Now this is kind of in between your Ned rig and your jig worm. This isn't quite your small little stubby Ned rig profile. This is still gonna be 4 inches in profile, but it fishes kind of like best of both worlds. You're gonna get down there quick. You're gonna have a smaller application, less profile. We caught a ton of fish taking that same Kamita, taking the inch off, putting it back on, and we saw that we actually started to hook more fish. So that's one thing we noticed. Super simple. The other bait that actually really turned on again this week, and I've talked about this in the past, look at you, right on cue, is a longer, you can call it a shaky worm. This is called a Tri-Alive Nightcrawler from Mr. Twister. We've talked about this bold bluegill. Oh my gosh, does that look cool or what? I love this color. And they actually make these now with salt. So this is salt infused nuclear bluegill, bold bluegill. And I'm taking that same jig head. Again, we're not overthinking this, same exact jig head. And I'm just threading it. Look at this, Callie. Watch this. Threading it right on the same exact one. And boom, there's your, would you eat that? Look at that. So this has got a lot more action to it, right? So this is gonna have a little bit of more of a wobble on the fall. Longer profile, you're looking at almost a 7-inch profile. This is a 6.5-inch bait. So longer than the full Kamita or Senko. But this is gonna have a lot more action on the fall. I can snap it, dance it, almost eel-like, snake-like. And I've had times where I come back through the same piece of structure, throw this, and we catch fish. So that's kind of our jig worm approach this week. Ned rig, full Senko, full Kamita, modified Kamita, longer worm. What do you think?
I remember using that for the tournament, and it was so amazing.
You caught some fish on this too. So that's an easy way to do it. Now in terms of the weight of the jig head, 1/8 ounce, 3/16, 3/32. There's a variety. Really comes down to, I look at wind, depth. If I'm fishing deeper coontail, I want a little heavier bait. If you're not down there, you're not feeling what's going on, that's important. If it's whipping and windy, I can pitch a heavier bait. But I'm generally not going super light with this. I'm usually fishing an 1/8 ounce or heavier with that weight jig head. Rod setup, I'm using, again, a medium, even a medium heavy, 15, 20 pound braid to a fluorocarbon leader. I use that braid, I use that little heavier rod because I'm snapping through weeds, snapping through coontail. How many times did we catch a fish yesterday and lose it in the weeds in 15, 20 feet of water? A bunch of times. How many times did you catch one wrapped itself up and you're like, I got a lot of weeds? So having the heavier rod, no stretch line, a little more power can get it out of there. We've seen that on Lake Minnetonka a lot, where you have to just get that fish out. You have to be quick on the draw, and that braid to a short fluorocarbon leader, little heavier spinning rod gets the job done. So that's how we're catching our bass. We're not overthinking it. We're covering water. The fish are located on main lake spots, offshore structure. We're not really beating the bank. We do have some deeper weed lines where we're not far from the bank, but again, we're fishing out in 8 to 15 feet of water, sometimes as deep as 24, 25 feet of water. We didn't fish that deep yesterday because the lake we were fishing on was set up differently. We caught all of our fish yesterday probably in 8 to 15 feet. Seems about right. A little taller than you. So that's kind of the jam where we are fishing. The pike, they're kind of all over the place. We've seen anglers catch pike in the weed lines. We're definitely catching them with this stuff, pitching up into the stuff. That's going on. We did catch some walleyes in the dirtier water on Lake Minnetonka. So anglers have asked me about walleye fishing. Have not done great, have not really targeted them. We kind of get them as, once again, a byproduct. And generally speaking, it's on the dirtier side of the lake where the weed growth runs a little shallower and we're just covering water going fishing. But these bass are schooled up. They're on main lake weed clumps, main lake points, inside turns, humps, saddles, all that kind of stuff. Look at your map, look at spots that look good, put in the time, make some casts. Generally speaking, like we've mentioned, if you catch one, you're probably going to catch more than one. They're schooled up this time of year. This week ahead looks pretty nice. Another nice week. Looks like it's going to be similar to this last week. We have a chance of rain. I think a little more this week. Looks like more in the evening hours. I don't see much for a wash up, but if we do, might be nice, might feel good. Run around in the rain. We haven't done that much this year, have we? Mm-hmm. Last couple of rainstorms, there was lightning and grossness with it, so we didn't run around in the rain. So if we get a nice warm evening with a heavy rain, we like to put our swimsuits on and run around in the rain.
Yeah.
We got to do that, don't we?
Yeah.
So the week ahead looks like that. We're excited. We're going to get after it. I'll be on Minnetonka a lot. We'll be running around chasing fish. It's going to be, once again, a bass week. The bluegills, the crappies, some of you have asked about those. They are really, really, really schooled up. If you see big, huge clusters of fish that don't look like little bait fish, but little bit bigger marks, those are your bluegills, probably mixed in with your crappies. I've seen the crappies relating more to deeper weed structure, where the bluegills are just kind of sporadic. Seems like the crappies that we catch are going to be related to more structure, but they're going to be on the deeper side of things lately. That's what I've seen around our area. Bluegills, you can even catch them by docks. So they're kind of all over the place. Good time of year just to go fishing, cover water, have a good time. We've talked about just a jig and a crawler. Anglers, once again this week, I know we're doing that, just a plain jig head, half a crawler, get on the outside weed line, drift around, have good conversation. That'll get you bit too if you want to go out there and just go fishing as well. So me, this is going to be the plan. I didn't fish a lot of bait casters this week. I did do a little flipping. I did do a little casting with swim baits. And I found myself turning right back to the spinning rod to catch fish and to catch our big one. So we'll see what happens. What do you think? What are you going to do this week? What's one thing you want to do this week?
Make bracelets.
Make bracelets. Kelly makes bracelets. I always adorn a lot of them. They have some with fish. So if you want a bracelet from Callie, hit me up. What do you charge? $5? $5 for a cool fishing bracelet. Not to sell for my daughter on this video, but she can make you one. So have a great week. Get out there. Have some fun. Enjoy August. Here we go. Night to Unite, I think, is this week as well. So if you enjoy your time with your community, go out there and get after it. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week with another great fishing report. Once again, get out there, have fun, set some hooks. Be safe. Bye, Callie.
Bye-bye.